I want you all to take a step back and look at your lives through your own eyes for a moment and ask yourselves two important things. Am I satisfied with the life that I'm living right now? And am I doing what I really want to do? And I want you to imagine for a moment that if you could be anything that you wanted right now, what would you be? Would you be an astronaut, a writer, a farmer, a teacher, a Disney princess? Or are you actually satisfied with the way that you're living your life? Because most of the time, we don't even realize it. But the life that we're living isn't actually the one that we want. It's the one that other people want us to live, which gives us a false sense that we're happy with what we're doing in our lives as well. So it's important to be true to yourself and what you want in life and the goals that you yourself want to accomplish. Because trust me, you don't want to spend your whole entire life trying to make other people happy when you're not even happy yourself. Finding the life you want to live is how you're going to elevate your happiness. But how exactly do we live the life that we want? There are 3 steps to this process. Number 1, finding your own definition of success. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word success? It might be having lots of money, a big business, high grades, fame, awards, a bunch of bright green Lamborghinis. But in reality, those are actually your own ideas of success. They're the ones that society has programmed into our heads through the books we read, the news we hear, the movies we watch, and the politicians and celebrities that we follow. Because if we look at the true definition of success, according to the dictionary, success literally just means the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Period. There's nothing there that talks about having lots of money or 110% average. It's simply just the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. And that is why your personal idea of success might be completely different from somebody else's. Because we all have different aims and different goals in life, based on our strengths and weaknesses and our different areas of interest. For example, your idea of success might be climbing a mountain or finishing a marathon, while somebody else's idea of success might be simply being able to run 10 laps on your treadmill at home. Success can also be the small, everyday victories that we have in life. I remember one time I was working on a complicated drawing for an art contest, and I started the drawing only 2 days before the deadline, silly me, so I had to work really hard day and night to finish it. And I remember staying up late at night and my eyes just being so heavy with sleep and forcing my fingers to keep coloring even though there was a blister forming on my middle finger from gripping the pencil. And I will never forget that feeling when I finally finished my drawing. I just took a step back and I looked at it and I was like, wow. And even though my desk was covered in pencil shavings, my middle finger looked like a fish stick, and my head was aching from sleep deprivation, I felt awesome. I felt like Bob Ross, because I'd accomplished something that I really wanted to do, and that feeling is irreplaceable. And let me tell you, there is nothing better than finishing a drawing that you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and just take a step back and you look at it, and you know that all your hard work was worth it. For those of you who are writers as well, and you spent months working on your novel, there is nothing better than writing that last word on the page and knowing that you finished your first draft. And then all those frustrating moments and sleepless nights where you really wanted to give up are all worth it, because now you've accomplished something that you really wanted to do. And that feeling is irreplaceable. For those of you who play soccer as well and you're practicing your soccer keep-ups on your feet, at first you can't even do one without the ball bouncing away from you. But soon after weeks or maybe even months of practice, you can do 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, then 100. How great does that feel? And that feeling when you accomplish something that you really want to do is what we call personal success. And it's what each and every one of us should be striving towards. But instead we are given the list at a young age, and we are told if we complete this list, only then can we become successful in life. When we go to school, the list might look something like this: high grades, winning awards, joining more than 5 clubs, and apparently the anime club does not count. And most students will be rushing to finish this list. And by the end of the year, every single student who has finished this list will think that they've had a successful year. Not based on their own accomplishments, but because the list of success had told them they had. And when we're given this checklist at such a young age, it really sticks into our minds. Now we think that, no, I can only be successful if I complete those things on the list. And as we get older, the list upgrades to look something more like this. And we look at the list and go, I have money check, a good job check, a nice house check, a bunch of awards I don't know what to do with check. But your own happiness and satisfaction gets a big red X, because all of the things that you wanted to accomplish yourself weren't on the list of success. And here's my list compared to the other ones. I hope my parents are watching this and panicking. So how exactly do we find our own definition of this word success? So in order to do this, you need to be able to set good goals for yourself. And in order to do that, you need to get to know yourself better. So imagine you're another person and you're interviewing yourself. What do you ask someone in an interview? What are your goals, your strengths and weaknesses, how you picture yourself 10 years from now, the type of mindset you want to develop, the things you enjoy doing. The journey to self-discovery. You need to be able to dig down into the darkest parts of yourself, the parts that we usually shun and we don't like to think about, and bring them up to the surface and work on them, such as some bad habits you might have, the procrastination, the sweet tooth, the 3-hour-long showers that you take, they take up half of the Pacific Ocean. In order for you to become the best version of yourself possible and be able to achieve those goals that you've set for yourself. And only when we're able to set good goals for ourselves by getting to know ourselves better can we truly become successful in life. Number 2, strengthening your self-esteem. So I'm pretty sure all of us can agree that it takes a lot of courage and confidence for us to be able to chase after our dreams and goals. Following the path that's already been made by other people is easy, but blazing your own trail is difficult. You need to be able to cut down all the trees that stand in your path. And the only way you're going to do that is if you're confident with the axe that you're holding in your hand. But how exactly do we strengthen our self-esteem anyways? So the first and foremost thing you need to do is to stop worrying about what other people think about you. It's something that we hear about all the time, but very few of us know how to apply it because it's so difficult. Not all of us are born with natural confidence and able to do whatever we like without worrying about what other people think about us. Like, not all of us are naturally born Anne of Green Gables who went on the first day of school and started talking to the trees in the schoolyard. I'd say the majority of us are not like that. I remember one time I was standing in front of my closet and I wanted to try on a new outfit, one that I thought would look awesome on me, in my head at least. And I stepped out of the closet feeling great and confident because wearing new clothes can make you feel that way. But then the moment I stepped in front of the mirror, I looked at myself for a good 5 minutes, and all these thoughts suddenly attacked me. Do I look too short, too fat? Does the color of the shirt not match my scarf? Does my waist look too wide in these pants? And each thought was a prick in my balloon of self-confidence. Here's a balloon. What happens when you prick it? It starts to deflate. And I don't even know how long I spent standing in front of the mirror, dwelling on those thoughts instead of ignoring them. And as a result, they got worse and worse until the scariest thought entered my head. What would people at school think of my outfit? And then I had this generic high school scene of me walking down the hallway and everyone turning to look at me in slow motion and then bursting into laughter. Pop. That was the last straw for my balloon of self-confidence. And then the voices of my teachers at school, my friends, my family members, random strangers that be passing me on my way to school that I'd probably never see again, swirled in my head, mocking me, making fun of me. And the louder the voices got, the more discouraged I got. So in the end, I completely chickened out. I rushed to change into a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt that I'd been wearing for who knows how long, ended up being late for school and basically accomplishing nothing. But looking back, I regret that decision. The only reason why I changed my outfit was to shut those voices up and blend in with the rest of the crowd. I wish that my voice had been louder than the other ones, and this is only a small, everyday example. When you worry about what other people think about you, you become their puppet. You allow their opinions to control you and affect you, and this can hold us back from achieving our goals as well as our happiness. You want to try out for the Shrek musical, as Shrek, but you don't because you're too afraid about what other people will think of your singing or what they will think of you of all people trying out as Shrek. You worry if you just presented your speech, whether the audience liked it or not, or whether they think you're a complete fool. I hope you don't think that about me right now. So let's dig in a little deeper. How exactly do we stop ourselves from worrying about what other people think about us? So it's important to keep in mind that you can't please everybody. Even when you're following the same rules and checking the boxes off the same list everyone else's, there's always going to be someone who isn't pleased with you. 100% guaranteed. You think you're doing the right thing, but there's always going to be that one nut who's going to tell you you're wrong. So there's really no point in trying. This is probably the only thing in life where someone will tell you, where I will tell you, that there is absolutely no point in trying. Because you know 100% for sure, no matter how hard you work, you are going to fail. Because it's simply just impossible to please every single person on this planet. So why try in the first place? And the second thing to keep in mind is that people's opinions of us are more about them than you. So for example, they might not like an outfit that you're wearing because they might have worn something similar themselves, but it didn't look as good on them. Or they might think it's ugly because they simply just don't like the color. Or they might make fun of you for something because they're actually really insecure themselves. Or they're frustrated about something else and letting the anger out on you. That was something that I used to do all the time. And I'm pretty sure most of us have done that as well without even realizing it. So therefore, based on other people's negative opinions of us, we shouldn't feel like we're the ones doing something wrong, and therefore we're the ones that need to change. Number 3, surrounding yourself with supportive people. So you want to surround yourself with the type of people who help you improve yourself. So for example, if you're like an introverted or a shy person and you want to become more comfortable in social situations, then hang out with the type of people who will help you bring you out of your shell. And yeah, I'm talking about like the type of people who text you in the middle of the night and you end up spending the whole entire night talking to them, or the ones who drag you to parties even though you'd rather spend the whole weekend on your couch watching Netflix. Yeah, those type of people. If you want to be more organized or disciplined, then hang out with the type of people that possess those traits. And of course, it's probably going to be uncomfortable at first to push yourself out of your comfort zone and actually hang out with those type of people. Because let's be real, who wants to hang out with people who are a good influence on them, right? We all want to hang out with those kids who do parkour on the school rooftop. But think of this as a way as taking a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself possible, and taking a step even further to achieving the life that you want. And of course, the type of people that you want to stay away from would be the ones who discourage you, make you feel bad about yourself, just don't support your decisions. But at the same time, you don't want a type of person who blindly supports every single decision that you make. You want someone who guides you to what's best for you. And this brings me to my second point. Identify the type of support you'll be needing in order to keep moving strong and achieve your goals. So you're going to need emotional support. There are going to be times in life where you want to give up, where you feel like you just can't get over the next hill. So during those times, you want someone who will be there by your side, who can tell you with their words that you can do it, you'll find a way, I'm here for you. How many people here have someone who can tell them, I'm here for you, while they're struggling? How strong and reassuring do those words make you feel? You know that someone has your back, whatever happens. You're also going to need verbal support. There are also going to be times in life where you fail, when things aren't going the way that you thought they would. So during those times, you want someone that you're comfortable crying in front of and relieving your worries to. Crying into your pillow and telling all your problems is great, but unfortunately, pillows can't provide advice. I wish they could. And last but not least, physical/practical support. Someone who can physically and literally help you work through your mistakes in order to help you achieve your goals. So let's look at an example with an artist. What does physical support look like when you're aspiring to become an artist? So for example, if I'm shading an object and I'm trying to make it look realistic, but it ends up looking more like the one on the right here drawn by Weekly How than the one on the left drawn by Bob Ross. I'm joking, it's not actually drawn by Bob Ross. And all the techniques that I've tried keep failing, and I feel like scribbling over the drawing or ripping the page in half. If you're someone who likes to draw realistic things, you can probably relate to this. A physical support would tell me what I need to do in order to improve my shading. You need to know where your light source is, or to place the shadows in the right spot. You need to layer the values of darkness, etc. It's kind of like a teacher or a mentor. My sister is my best physical supporter. Even though I don't like to admit it, it's true. Whenever I write writer's block, she gives me all sorts of ideas and sentence starters. Or for example, for this TED Talk, I had all these ideas at first, but my first draft was a complete mess. And my sister was the one who taught me how to organize them. Thank you, sis. And it's important to keep in mind that support is a two-way thing. You can't expect someone to support you without giving the same thing back to them. Support other people and help them achieve the life that they want as well. So in the end, all of you can achieve your happiness as a group, rather than just each person for themselves. And this brings me to my last point. Why is support so important? Why should we care? Because it will be extremely difficult for you to cut down the trees that will block your path without the help of other people. I mean, it's possible, but support from other people will help you achieve your goals faster. And as human beings, we all want to take the fast way. We feel proud when we complete something individually, but there's really nothing wrong with having some help along the way. And when we implement these 3 steps into our lives, finding our own definition of success, filling up our balloon of self-esteem by not caring about what other people think about us, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people, our happiness will stay elevated, and we can become the type of person that we want to be, not the type that society wants us to be. It's your life. You don't need someone's permission to live the life that you want. Be brave to live from your heart. Thank you.